WrestleMania 41 is officially done and over with, and we kicked off the new WWE season with a white-hot Raw After Mania. From now until WrestleMania 42, we've got a whole new WWE season full of twists, turns, and chaos ahead, and I've got my laundry list of things that I want to see in this new WWE season. First things first is I hope that Kevin Owens returns and is able to fully recover and be healthy and be able to wrestle again and be safe. This is going to be a tough thing to overcome, and I honestly don't think he's going to make it to WrestleMania 42, but let's just pray and hope that everything goes well and he's a little bit early on recovery and is able to make that return at WrestleMania 42. Next thing, it was on my list, but I made this list before the Raw After Mania happened, and the next thing was Seth Rollins being a top heel in WWE because he deserves it, and he's way better as a heel than he is as a good guy, and of course, it already started. We already have the faction formed with Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker, which is phenomenal. That's actually better than I could have booked it myself. I still want to see a couple more guys added to this, whether it be a female or a male wrestler. I would love to see an Austin Theory or a Bronson Reed part of that, and maybe even an NXT call-up of like a Jordan Grace or someone like that, like a Stephanie Valkyrie. That'd be freaking really awesome. Next, we have Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble. There is nobody that I think deserves a moment like that more than Sami Zayn. He was left off the card this year after having a fantastic like 2.5-year run before that, from WrestleMania 38 all the way to WrestleMania 40. And I think he was having a great year, and then things just fell apart at the end. I don't know what happened, but I think something that could happen this year is Sami Zayn finally winning the Royal Rumble, going on to WrestleMania and winning his first ever World Championship. I think that'd be fantastic. The next thing is more than 5 matches on a PLE. I am so tired of this. It just feels short, and I feel like some of these matches don't need so much time to where you only have to fit 5 matches on a card. I feel like a 6 to 7 match range, or just make it however many matches you need and think should be on the card. Because I think people are getting left off of PLEs because there's only 5 matches per show other than WrestleMania. So let's just get 6 or 7. I feel like that's a good range because I feel like some of these matches don't have to go as long as they should be. Next, we have Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins at SummerSlam. And I think that might even be just a little bit too early because this is a WrestleMania main event, no doubt about that. But I'm still holding out for Roman Reigns to be available for WrestleMania. This match should and possibly could happen at SummerSlam, being the first ever 2-night SummerSlam, making it that much bigger of a deal, which would make total sense. The only issue I have with that is whenever Roman and Seth fight again, this should be on the Roman Redemption Tour, where Roman finally conquers his demons of beating Seth Rollins the right way, the proper way. And I feel like that's a story that should be told at WrestleMania. But I just don't really know, because if they do it at SummerSlam, Seth kind of needs to win that match because of the faction that he's creating with Paul Heyman, and it would just make much more sense. If we get that at SummerSlam, then we're able to get The Rock versus fucking Roman Reigns at WrestleMania finally, and we could just stop talking about it forever. This is a match that just needs to happen. It doesn't have to be anything very specific or anything like that, but in my brain, you get Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Roman wins. He can call out The Rock, basically saying, ever since you came back, I have lost everything. Before you stepped in, before WrestleMania 40, I had the undisputed title, I had my family, I had my wise man. He could put all the blame on The Rock. The second he came and joined the bloodline, his family started breaking away, his family turned on each other, and the worst part of it is his wise man went to probably his biggest enemy in Seth Rollins. The story kind of writes itself. It's right there for the taking. You could still have the match. Just do it, get it over with. I feel like this is the very last WrestleMania where this match is even possible, where people would even want to see it. And everybody's pissed off with The Rock right now as is, so who knows. Next, we have CM Punk versus John Cena at Money in the Bank. Why not run it back as the old classic way? We're already getting the John Cena versus Randy Orton feud. Just give me what I want and give us what all the fans want, and let's just run nostalgia back on this run, because fuck it, why not? This has been a thing for probably 2 years now, but let's get LA Knight that Money in the Bank briefcase where he can cash in and win a World Heavyweight Championship. I just think it has to happen. It should happen. LA Knight with the Money in the Bank would be super entertaining no matter how long he held it for, whether he held it for a month or an entire year. It would be a lot of fun, and it would be a great moment to see LA Knight win that title and just become an official WWE World Champion, one of the highest honors you could probably have in pro wrestling, depending on who you ask. And it would just be something special to reward him for all his hard work and all the years he's put in. He's getting older, so nobody's getting younger. So I think it'd be a great moment. It doesn't have to be a very long reign. It could be whatever it wants, but just to have that special moment for him would be awesome. I'm a huge LA Knight fan, so I want to see it. I've been debating making a video on how to book John Cena's heel run, and I might still do it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see that or not, but I have a few theories on how they should book John Cena's reign versus how they've booked him as a bad guy. So in my brain, one of the ways I would end this is have John Cena be healed this whole time how he's been, but have a little bit of problems with The Rock and have a little problems with maybe Travis Scott. And at the very end, maybe in his last match or something like that, John Cena finally turns on The Rock and kicks him right in the balls. I feel like that'd be a great way to end this whole heel run thing where John Cena turns back. He gets his soul back for the crowd. Just in his last match or like leading up to his last match, he turns on The Rock and he turns on Travis Scott and he kicks them both in the nuts. I think that'd be pretty fun to watch. Funny enough, we might get this anyway, but I also typed this out before WrestleMania 41, and it was a Dominic Mysterio babyface run where he is just like Eddie Guerrero with the lie, cheating, and stealing. The crowd in Las Vegas loved Dominic Mysterio, and they went crazy when he won the Intercontinental title. So I don't know if this is going to be a continuing trend where people are really cheering for Dom, but as of right now, he is getting crazy responses from the crowd in a positive way. So if you want to keep him kind of like as that sleazeball type character, book him how Eddie Guerrero was, where he's cheating, he's lying, and he's stealing to win matches. I think that'd be a fun way to do it. He loves Eddie, and I think it's just fun. Let's get a modern-day Eddie Guerrero out of this. Next is going to be the year of Drew McIntyre. I would love to see Drew McIntyre go on an absolute tear where he's not losing matches, he's not losing nonsense, and it ends with him becoming WWE champion, whether that's at SummerSlam, whether that's in John Cena's final match, or if it ends at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre has absolutely earned it, being one of the top guys in WWE. I would love to see Drew McIntyre become WWE champion once again. Next one is a much more personal one, but more metal / alternative rock / like Saliva style theme songs for PLEs, for pay-per-views, and for WrestleMania. I'm just tired of these like mainstream artists being theme songs because you're shooting to get the more casual fan interested no matter what way possible. Obviously, mainstream music is a great way to do it. You have Cardi B hosting freaking SummerSlam of all places. Can we just turn the clocks back a little bit? Can we turn time back just a little bit to where we get these more alternative rock music, these more rock type music for a theme song for a pay-per-view? I think it'd be fantastic. This one's pretty simple, and I think at some point we might get this, is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. I don't really have an explanation for it. I just think that's a match we all want to see. And another match that I really want to see is Gunther versus Roman Reigns. I think that'd be fantastic. Since we're on the match trend, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, preferably at WrestleMania. I think that's another story that writes itself. Another thing with CM Punk would be to have him hold a world championship in 2025 or 2026. I'd love to see Jimmy Uso hold a singles title in 2025 or 2026. He's one that deserves it. Jay's done it, and now it's Jimmy's turn. I personally enjoy Jimmy more than Jay. I like them both a lot, but Jimmy has just always been the side character, and I want his own time to shine. Next is the Street Profits being the premier tag team on WWE, whether it's SmackDown or Raw. I do eventually want to see them break up and get the Montez Ford push for world champion, which I would be super hyped for. But in the meantime, having the Street Profits be the tag team, whether it's on SmackDown or Raw, would just help the tag team division so much. Next is an Austin Theory push. I've been a big fan of Austin Theory for as long as I can remember. I think he's incredibly talented in the ring. I just think he hasn't found the correct character yet, but he has star written on him. Like, he has the look, he has everything. He just needs to figure it out. Whether it be him joining Paul Heyman, Seth, and Braun Breaker, or just doing his own thing, just something where he is elevated and being back to be taken seriously, because just for how many years, it's just, what the fuck? I'm a big fan. I would love to see it. And since we're on the topic of big fans of wrestlers, Karrion Kross for World Heavyweight Champion in 2026. Book it now. I have been on the Karrion Kross bandwagon for a very long time. I just am a huge fan of him, and this whole WrestleMania season that just passed, people are starting to notice, and it's finally taken the turn. I've been a fan of him for about 2 years, and people are really starting to get on the bandwagon of Karrion Kross, where hopefully he can take fully advantage of it. I think they're going to give him some type of push in the foreseeable future, but I think he has World Heavyweight Champion written all over him. He has the look, he has the character, he can cut a great promo. People say he's not good in the ring, but I think that also has to do with just his stories and his storylines. Like, no one's going to care what you're doing in the ring if no one cares about the story going in. So I feel like that would just help tremendously. Karrion Kross, World Heavyweight Champion. I said it first. Next, we have Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Championship. This is just a match that needs to happen. This is WrestleMania main event worthy. This is just two of your biggest stars in the women's division. They just need to go at it one-on-one. Technically, we got it at WrestleMania with the triple threat, but a triple threat is so much different versus one-on-one. The triple threat was absolutely amazing and the right choice. I truly thought at first we were getting Rhea versus Bianca one-on-one at WrestleMania. They changed it into a triple threat. I am not upset about that at all. But at some point, we do need Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair one-on-one. We just got to see it. With all the news coming out about Bayley being pulled from the card simply for Becky Lynch, I hope at some point we get a moment where Becky Lynch gets her ass whooped by Bayley. I think it's just ridiculous that Bayley was pulled simply for Becky to return. I think that's bullshit. Bayley deserves better. She really does. Next is a return of the Wyatt Six with a better story and actually plans, not just throwing them in just to throw them in, because they had a pretty sick return for it to turn into nothing. Not even a PLE match, not even an appearance at a PLE, which I think is ridiculous. They could even feud with Paul Heyman and them. Like, it's something's there. It's just, they got to do better with that. Next is title changes at non-Big Four PLEs. So the Big Four are Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam. Back in the day, this was more common, but in the Triple H era, we really don't get a lot of title changes, at least for the main titles, unless it's at a big pay-per-view. And I would prefer if at some point they kind of change it up just a little bit. I'm not saying it has to be every PLE. Let's change some titles at the non-big PLEs just to make them worth watching, because if you know like they're not going to lose and adding some type of suspense, you're not going to watch it, or it's not going to be as interesting. So I think that would just help a lot. Next is Naomi for Money in the Bank. I have a love-hate relationship with Naomi. When she's the good girl character, it's just, I'm not that interested. But her work leading up to WrestleMania 41 was fantastic, and it got me super interested in her and actually cared about her. So having her be a heel Money in the Bank winner and then building up to become a world champion would be fantastic. I would love that a lot, and I want to see it. That's my number one pick for the Money in the Bank winner this year. Next is to see Finn Balor win some mid-card title just to get something from him, because it's just, he's been getting screwed for so long. Finn Balor, I think, is great, and I would love to see him back as a singles run character, not in the Judgment Day bullshit, and just to have him win a title, whether it be the US title or the Intercontinental title. I just think he deserves it, and it'd be pretty cool to see. Next, I almost can guarantee that this is most likely going to happen, is Rey Fenix and Penta becoming tag team champions. I think them two together as tag team champions would be fantastic. The next thing is more women's matches and the women's titles being featured on PLEs. We usually only get one women's match per PLE, if that. If you add that 6th or 7th match, you could at least add 2 or 3 more and be able to feature your Women's United States Championship or the Women's Intercontinental Championship on a PLE card, because I don't think they've been defended once yet on a PLE, which is, what's the point of bringing them if you're not going to use them that way? And with the whole women's thing is add more stipulation matches to the women's matches. I feel like all we really get is triple threats and one-on-ones. We don't really get these stipulation matches that you do with the men's. And I'm not saying it has to be every match, but I'm saying if a feud builds to that, you put them in a stipulation match, whether it be last man standing or last women standing, first blood, you know, no DQ, whatever, Hell in a Cell, like something. Because I feel like the women's division is so limited. They have so much talent. They barely get featured on the PLEs, and they barely get their titles pushed on PLEs. So if you are able to add stipulations, you can make much better and more interesting stories and more intense stories, because that's what's missing from the women's division. So that is my laundry list of things I want to see for this coming WWE season. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see, or if you disagree with anything that I'm looking forward to. This is a fun video that we could always come back to right at the end, right before WrestleMania 42, and see how much we got right, how much we got wrong, and kind of what was kind of in between. So thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.